Why is climate change such a controversial subject despite being so widely researched? It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Upton Sinclair. It's politically controversial, not scientifically controversial. There's a lot of money to be made in burning shit. There's a lot of people relying on energy from burning shit. Modern society is heavily dependent on fossil fuels. That means two things. One, getting off of fossil fuels without major, perhaps deadly, disruptions to society all over the globe is a long and complex process. Two, the people who control the fossil fuels industry and extremely rich and powerful and have an extremely oversized influence on politics. Fortune and power are not things people give up easily. Note that we've known about climate change for a long time, and the fossil fuels industry has spent a fuckton on money covering it up and on propaganda trying to discredit it. Research data is an abstract concept that is irrelevant for the vast majority of people. Many people won't acknowledge it until they directly experience the consequences of climate change. What is relevant for people are green policies that make their lives slightly more inconvenient, like no longer getting plastic straws or grocery bags, and higher taxes on energy in some cases. The issue is the gap between what scientists say and what the fear-mongers say the science says. A week ago I had to talk someone in Arcalapse down from claiming that the science says massive crop failures by 2030. Because when those massive crop failures don't materialize, people lose confidence in climate science. I'm 57, so I genuinely remember fear-mongering about global cooling. There are reasonable counter-arguments that the scientific community never supported that theory, but I lived through that time, and I'm saying that people did use the science of global cooling as a grift, and I can see people using global warming as a grift now. Because the Earth has been both warmer and cooler than it is now. What is the correct temperature for the Earth? And because the solutions frequently add up to giving the government money. Doing anything about it will cut into profits. Because lots of wealthy parties have lots of money to lose or make. Because corporations are the main cause of it, and corporations spend money on propaganda and idiots fall for said propaganda. We have undeniable proof that the average temperature is rising. The part that people are arguing about is whether the change is caused by humans or whether it's a natural temperature fluctuation, which just happened to align with an increased production of greenhouse gases caused by humans. If it's natural, then we are powerless to stop it, and any eco-friendly alternatives are a waste of time and resources. If it's humanity's fault, then we'd all have to agree globally to reduce emissions right now. But this clearly isn't happening anytime soon. So we can freak out about it or just accept that we have no control over it. I remember 20 years ago the Ice Age was coming. Everything is a conspiracy when you don't understand how anything works. Scientific data is complicated, so laymen have to trust the scientists who collect and analyze it. People tend to be intimidated by people who are smarter than them, especially when what they are saying is inconvenient, and especially when they have a community telling them they can ignore those experts. And leaders of those communities, like church pastors and politicians, are doing just that. It's a misplaced debate. Everyone tries to debate about whether or not the climate is changing, but the real question is, what are you going to do about it? Nobody really knows. Anything that involves the intrusion into some people's life will not go down well. CC is a big one that hits everyone's daily life. It isn't, but companies, specifically oil companies and countries who exist as a byproduct of oil, they feed anti-climate change BS through media companies. There's no ethical accountability in media, so the public is lied to, and many people end up believing those lies. This, and many other societal problems, are a result of many media organizations acting unprofessionally and unethically towards a broad audience who, by conditioning, believe the content presented is supposed to be true. It's complicated because not only is there a conflict about whether to do anything about it, there is also conflict within people that think something should be done about what exactly that should be, and the viewpoints are often contradictory. Some think the solution is to reduce our impact on the planet, others think we should actively shape the environment to our needs. Increasing prices of things like cars, meat, air travel would revert to a time when only the rich could do it. That won't sit well with people. Some want more government overreach, while those with knowledge of how well highly centralized societies have worked in the past don't want anything of the sort. It all devolves into zealotry and tribalism. There's no room for compromise in many people's eyes. Because many people are too stupid to understand that there are people who know more about things than them. Basically, they think their opinion is just as valid as that of someone who has scientifically researched the topic. Those are the people who say they did their own research because they don't understand that there is more to science than opinions. Politics, Oliver Stone produced a documentary in 2022 called Nuclear Now. I'd suggest everyone watch it. It will answer this question. https